see just to the left of the column. That's the door through which presidents walk out to come to the Rose Garden. Just slightly off to the right are microphones and flags. And by the way, at that door at the base of that, when President Nixon was still president, there were the spike marks left by President Eisenhower when he was in the Oval Office. They've since been removed. Those spike marks from President Eisenhower's golf shoes were still there in the Oval Office when Richard Nixon was president. They're now gone. President Clinton walking somberly to the position where he will address the nation on the occasion of the death of the only president of the United States ever to have resigned.
It is my sad duty to report to the people of the United States that Richard M. Nixon, who served as our 37th president, died this evening in New York City at 9:08 p.m. with his family at his side. Hillary and I send our deepest condolences to the entire Nixon family. We hope that Tricia and Edward Cox and their son Christopher, and Julie and David Eisenhower and their children, Jenny, Alex, and Melanie, know that the best wishes of all their fellow Americans are with them during their moment of sorrow. It's impossible to be in this job without feeling a special bond with the people who have gone before. And I was deeply grateful to President Nixon for his wise counsel on so many occasions on many issues over the last year. His service to me and to our country during this period was like the rest of his service to the nation for nearly half century. He gave of himself with intelligence and devotion to duty, and his country owes him a debt of gratitude for that service. We face today a world of increasing uncertainty and difficult challenges, but it is a world of great opportunity, in no small part because of the vision of Richard Nixon during a particularly difficult period of the Cold War. He understood the threat of communism, but he also had the wisdom to know when it was time to reach out to the Soviet Union and to China. All Americans, indeed all people throughout the world, owe him what he regarded as the ultimate compliment. He was a statesman who sought to build a lasting structure of peace. To be sure, he experienced his fair share of adversity and controversy, but his resilience and his diligent desire to give something back to this country and to the world provide a lesson for all of us about maintaining our faith in the future. In spite of everything, that faith led President Nixon to leave his mark on his times as few national figures have done in our history, and led him to continue to serve right up to the end of his life. Indeed, no less than a month before his passing, he was still in touch with me about the great issues of this day. Again, I say the sorrow and the best wishes of the American people are with President Nixon's family. We thank them, and our prayers are with them. Thank you.
Have you spoken to the family, Mr. President?
I have. I spoke with both Tricia Cox and Julie Eisenhower this evening, and we had a very good visit.
Well, are you going to the funeral?
Excuse me?
Are you going to go to the funeral?
I intend to go, yes.
When will it be, do you know?
The family has not made announcements, and I'm not sure they've made final decisions. It's my understanding that the funeral will be in California, and they'll announce something about it probably tomorrow.
Will all the presidents be going, former presidents?
I can't say that.
Can you tell us something about your relationship with Mr. Nixon?
Yes, well, we made contact with each other shortly after, I think shortly after the election, either that or shortly after I came in here. And then, as you will remember, I had him up to the White House for a visit. We talked frequently on the phone. I sought his advice about a number of issues in foreign policy, and we talked quite a lot about Russia. We had a good long visit right before he went to Russia. And as I said, just a month ago, today, I think, he penned his last letter to me of his thoughts on that trip and his advice. And so our relationship continued to be warm and constructive throughout the period of my presidency, and he went out of his way to give me his best advice. And I was incredibly impressed with the energy and the vigor and, frankly, the rigor that he brought to analyzing this issue. And thank you very much.
His advice.
President Bill Clinton, as the lights of the tall Washington Monument blinked in the background and in the distance, the statue of Thomas Jefferson could be seen, and just down the block, of course, the brooding statue of the great Abe Lincoln. And in a place where the president can see the very top lights of the Capitol of the United States, President Clinton announcing officially and formally the death of former President Nixon. And so tonight, the death of former President Richard Milhous Nixon here in New York at the age of 81. From Joe McCarthy to George McGovern, from Moscow to the Mekong Delta, from Yorba Linda to Watergate, Richard Nixon was a constant in our lives, for better and for worse, a constant for decades. And he was the ultimate political contradiction, a hard, cold warrior who could open doors to China and Russia, a political brawler who could bristle at every even perceived slight, a skillful user of Madison Avenue and Hollywood PR, who often looked harsh and uncomfortable in the spotlight. In Richard Nixon were all the contradictions and cross currents that were America and American politics, from the Cold War to Watergate to the brink of the 21st century. He and all of the rest of us grew together, again for better and for worse, and shared a lot of history together, including a tragedy that many have written would be worthy of an ancient Greek drama. There will be more about the life and legacy of former President Richard Nixon on your late local news and on tomorrow night's CBS Evening News here with Bob Schieffer. For now, and for all of us at CBS News, Dan Rather in New York. Good night.